Hey, Peachbud23 here. Thanks for coming back to another reaction. Today we're going to be watching some ODST. I remember somebody mentioned it a little while back, and it sounded very familiar, and then obviously it turned out to be Halo. Just because I haven't really played too much Halo at all. I played the very first game like way back when, and when I saw that there was actually an anime on it, or I don't know how complete of an anime this is. I see that I think it's on Funimation from what I was seeing, because I literally just typed it in and just picked 3 videos that seemed interesting, right? And as always, the links to the original channels and videos are going to be linked in the description below, so you got to make sure that you check them out. Also, if this is your first time checking out this channel, a little background on myself. I served in the United States Marine Corps as a corporal as an 0311 or infantry marine from 2015 to 2019. I went on 2 deployments. First one being in Kuwait, second one going back to Kuwait and spending about half the time in Syria. And without wasting too much more time, let's go ahead and get right into the video. Alright, so 2 things right off the bat. This guy back here, the 2-man, should be looking down this way, because even though he did, I think he killed like 2 people. Yeah. So he killed 2 people, but you never know in that room if there's going to be someone else going to be popping up. So this guy wants his, at the very minimum, his muzzle facing in that direction, right? So that way you don't have anybody sneaking up on the front man. And I believe he was using a burst. I think he killed about, was it 4 or I'm going to say 5 people. There was 2 initially, and then 1 that popped out, and then 2 more down that hallway. So about 5. So what, 5 times 3? 15. So using about half a mag, and then that's only if those shots were as accurate as they were there. I mean, obviously going to be using probably guns that probably have no recoil, but shooting on burst consistently, kind of like this person was, it's kind of difficult, right, in real life, which is typically why we always shoot semi. But the animation looks great. I mean, it looks very fluid, and dude, these people have a lot of gear. I don't know if these guys are kind of like the Spartans, right, or like the actual Master Chief. Also, my lore on it is very dodgy at best. I don't know if these people are going to be like genetically enhanced in some form, or if they're just wearing all this armor and they're just strong, right? Okay, so I like that the dude started shooting back, at least in that general direction. You saw a little glint, right? But as far as like RTR goes, return fire, take cover, return accurate fire, right? You saw one dude take cover. I wouldn't necessarily do it in front of that window, even though this seems like there's a little bit of maybe covering just outside, you know, because he's already shot in that general direction. But that immediate shooting is to kind of keep the sniper's head down to make him stop aiming at you, even though most likely than not you're probably gonna miss, because it looked like he was using some kind of SMG. But you know, it's just to kind of like say like, hey, we'll shoot back at you too. And as far as the actual I guess soldiers, right? I don't know. Yes, yeah, we'll say soldiers for simplicity. Maybe special forces. It looks like he's got a rhino mount. If he does, that's where you'd attach the little, what do we call it, J hook, right, to attach the MVGs. Very fancy looking helmet.
Sniper shit. What now, boss? Any bright ideas? Should we crawl along the windowsill? Blue boy, you copy?
That's an affirmative, Jaeger 1. I'm afraid our vantage point's not much better. We've got snipers here too, and can't tell how many. Over.
Smoke bombs might be an option. You want to?
I just realized he's wearing iPro, right? Good on his PPE. But yeah, man, was it, as far as using smoke, I mean, that's typically what we were, I mean, we weren't necessarily, from what I remember, taught as far as like, all we were told like, hey, throw smoke, get out of there, and try to at least maybe pinpoint where you know, it might be, you know, I mean, because it could be someone close, it could be really far away, you never really know. Even then, I don't know exactly what, like, I mean, because I've never shot like any type of sniper rifle. I was more of an M4, M16, IAR at one point. Even at, was it 500 for a point target, right? For like an M4 or an M16, it can still be off as far as like if you're shooting, depending on how well you BZO'd it or like align the actual sight with the actual barrel, right? So even if you're shooting, you know, it could still be off by quite a bit. I remember one time during the firing range, I was aiming dead on, and apparently my rounds were going into the other target. So I had to shift considerably to the right a little bit, and then I was hitting damn near center on my target. So I was still shooting in that, like, even though I wasn't aiming directly at my target, I was still able to get on my own paper. But when you start getting farther from it, that's where a lot of little minor adjustments could actually affect the direction of the bullet. What was it? I think a buddy of mine who was in the sniper, that I don't ever believe he went to the actual school, mentioned how, I think he said they BZO'd theirs at the 800, or was it the 500? Well, either way, you still got to be a good shot. You still got to make sure that your rifle's BZO'd. Don't know who they're going up against here, but yeah, interesting.
Face more of those kids totally blind.
You're right. Should we hope to God and say our prayers?
Flying seaweed. I need you to take out a building for us. We'll show you which one. Over.
Roger that, Giga 1.
Gotcha.
I guess, man, technology doesn't matter which war it is or what battle. It can help you quite a bit. I mean, damn, that'd be pretty damn useful, right? Oh my god.
Thank you, Seaweed.
All right, so just to kind of end on this first one, I would say at least get confirmation that the target was hit. Otherwise, I mean, yeah, you hear that the big explosion, but it's like, hey, we don't know if it missed, although it seems unlikely considering what kind of technology they had right there. But, you know, I would probably still wait for confirmation. I hate they hit the building at the very least. All right, so on to the second video of this. ODST drop. Now, drop, I'm assuming it's going to be coming in from the sky. I mean, that's typically what our company was meant to do as far as trap went. Tactical recovery of aircraft and their personnel. And it's going to be interesting to kind of see. Obviously, there's probably going to be big differences in how they approach it and how we'd approach it. Try to make some connections. And yeah, let's go ahead and watch the video.
Better late than never.
How about you show some respect?
Just saying, Dutch. They missed one.
We're nearing the drop point. Time to tuck yourselves in and get cozy. All personnel in the load bay. Oxygen masks on. Doors open and packages go out for delivery in 20 seconds. Combatant clearing bots will land first and do their thing. You'll touch down right after, so hit the ground running. Remember, drone shoots must deploy at minimum altitude, so let your pods do it.
All right, so they're not getting off as I thought they were going to get off. I thought they were just going to like kind of land or maybe like fast stroke, kind of like we did. So it seems like they're just going to go in pods. Obviously, the drop now in the title making more sense. Probably just going to be like a Warhammer type thing as far as like just dropping in kind of solo in their own little pod. But as far as the way we would do it, there's two methods that were, the first one is when we land, come out running, have one person run, I think it was about 50 or 100 meters, comes out, sets in security. You have one person be in the Mako gate, ensuring that they're counting the people getting off, make sure we have everybody there. And as we start coming out, as soon as we hit that guy for the first one, shift to the left to him, and then we're going to start making like a little, what do they call it, like a little crescent, right? So it kind of starts to make, think of it like a quarter of a circle, right? And we're going to have the machine gunner being all the way on the left side. But since we are going to be running in pairs, right, as far as Ospreys go, there's also going to be the other guys doing it on the other side, making sure that they're not getting in the way of the actual gun. Or we take the fast rope method, which I never really liked. I was not a fan of heights. I hated doing the rappel tower. But when you're going, that rope is not just like straight down, right? Since you have a whole bunch of gear, and you know maybe some of the gear is probably loose, even though it shouldn't be. It should be nice and tight. And you're going down, not only are you probably going to be burning your hands regardless, because those gloves kind of always sucked and it was always hard to get a pretty good grip. That rope is flying like at a 45-degree angle, right? Now, the first two guys going down are going to be the heaviest dudes. mainly because they're when they get down there, they're both supposed to sit on the rope. Now, when we did this for the first time, we had the two biggest guys go down, went on it, and then I was the second one to go. And as soon as I got down, I see that like their bodies are all, like a couple of inches off the ground, right? And they're just holding on like this with the rope underneath. And you're just hoping, I'm really hoping my muzzle doesn't thump one of them in the back of the neck. Because otherwise I'm going to hear about it later. And they're typically trying to get like about 3 to 4 guys on that rope at the same time. So that way you can try to get out as soon as possible. Make sure that the osprey is just not an open target. And also, when you walk away from the osprey, make sure you actually walk. Just because since those damn fucking wings, rudders, and all that, it makes it very difficult to be able to even fast walk. Because then a lot of times the air pressure is going to push you. And you're going to fall down. Like I did twice.
Latest intel reports Covenant troops are massing beneath the carrier.
You're pulling back? Why?
I'm gonna find out way up here.
Troopers! We are green and very, very mean! I take it back. Navy got its butt kicked.
Hey, Romeo. Remember when I told you to shut your mouth?
Yeah?
Consider that a standing order.
Captain, 15 clicks off the deck.
Stand by to adjust trajectory. On my mark. Mark!
Reinforcements! Take out that turret! Where's the fight at?
Okay, so they kind of went into like a hot area. Typically, we drop like a little farther behind. I mean, I know situations can dictate otherwise where you would actually land, but typically we want to make our way in instead of just going in. Because, I mean, granted, I never had the chance to do that in real life, but yeah, at the very least, I can imagine it'd be kind of risky, risk being surrounded. But I mean, obviously, being in the future, how it is right here, it's interesting. I did not expect the guns to just pop out of these pods, right, and then actually start moving around. So, hell, technology.
No time for a tea party. Here they come. Move, now.
Hey, leave some for me!
Oh, I almost feel bad.
Hurry up. You want to do this? Be my guest. But this ain't a job you want to rush.
All right, so kind of looked that was a 203 round. I thought maybe he was gonna pop a smoke, right? Because there are different rounds as to what you can use in the 203. And also, I don't remember how many rounds these guns actually have. I mean, it doesn't look like the gun that you would see in Halo. So I'm assuming it's a different magazine size. But typically, I remember it was like 60 rounds. And everybody has incredibly good accuracy, right? Because now it looks like they're shooting on auto.
That guy, got him. Oh my God, he's everywhere.
I love blowing crap up, Dutch, but this situation sucks.
Ooh, what was that? Okay, well, when they're going in, right? I mean, as soon as you're shooting like a natural round, specifically from a 203, right? Any type of explosive, maybe like just throwing a frag in. I mentioned in the previous video that we typically wait like a second or two, right, to let some of the smoke go down. I understand that they have the technology to be able to see through it, but in today's world, it'd be pretty difficult to go in there. Not only that, you would want to keep your buddies pretty damn close because otherwise you don't accidentally shoot somebody, right? Because obviously, legit fog of war, right? And it looks like they're about to use a little breaching tool right here. Right? Typically from us, things I can remember off the top of my head, we would have these little sledgehammers. I don't know, you could have maybe some combat engineers use like deck core. Is that what it was called? Damn, we had a whole class on it too, and they showed us like all these little type of knots that they can make and just how it all works. And I retained absolutely nothing from it, or at least not a whole lot.
Mickey, relax. We'll be fine.
Okay, wait. So he threw this right in front of the open doorway. Kind of a big no, because where's everyone going to be aiming at? The doorway. So don't be in the doorway. When you're throwing a frag or throwing a flashbang, anything, make sure you throw it from like offset from the actual doorway. So if the doorway's here, you're over here, right? So you're not exposing yourself in that fatal funnel. Okay, right there. This guy behind him is aiming. I mean, yes, he's kind of keeping his like head in a swivel, but he's aiming over here where his buddy behind him would probably be the one to be able to actually take this angle over here, while the first guy is continuously aiming down to like our direction right here, right? Because you never know if someone's gonna pop up, and you want to have security everywhere. You know, a lot of the time there was the expression like body to body, right? So if the first guy's going to be looking forward and the second guy is going to take the left side, you don't want the guy who's at the front going without that buddy damn near being right on top, not on top of him, but like to the side of him to be able to get cover. So now you have, think of it like an L shape, right? And there's always security going down every single avenue of approach.
I am good!
Okay, right there as well. It looks like this person in the far back has their gun up, which obviously flagging all your buddies. And you see, I mean, I understand that these guys are probably way more well trained and they're actually able to clear rooms by themselves. But typically, you want a buddy to go in there with you. Again, clearing both sides, because since you're also going to be clearing the front. And also at the end here, I think I do see this last person actually keep their muzzle up to aim down here. But just the way they have, the person has it up right now, if somebody does pop up in the front, the person in the back can't really do much, just because if they do shoot, there's a higher chance they're going to shoot their buddies.
Arrest that man!
Nickel 419 inbound.
Now's our chance. Mickey, you're with me.
I've had enough of this crap! I'm not sticking around to get killed!
What can I say? Was a hell of a night.
Since their main mission, it just seemed like to be able to get this guy, this high value target. They're not there to necessarily fight if they don't have to. They really somewhat completed the mission. I mean, I guess it's not completed until they actually get him back to wherever they're going. But obviously, them just saying that they're not going to engage there is very smart, very straight to the mission from what it seems. I would be interesting to knowing what kind of gun is this. I mean, I guess just seeing what kind of rounds it actually uses and all that. But yeah, that's pretty much from what I had to say from this video. And let's go ahead and get into the last one. All right, so crash fight scene.
Computer, who's alive? Williams made it. At least for now.
Can you imagine how much of a game changer that would be if you had that? I don't see glasses anymore. I mean, I don't know how he's even getting this information, unless he's a cyborg robot, maybe, or maybe it's a contact lens. Yeah, I have no idea how he's actually viewing all this information.
Blue Boy, are you there? Do you copy?
That you, Jaeger 1?
Yeah, I'm about 200 yards east from your current position. What's the sit rep?
The seaweed shot down the chopper that hit us. However, 2 more showed up and dropped airborne assault troops. We're exchanging fire, but Cargo Bay 2's flipped over, so we're trapped.
And the prisoners?
Don't know, sir. No one who was in Cargo Bay 1 is responding. The smart suit
I like the way that they're talking as well. It's very calm. It's very direct to kind of describe kind of like what's going on, what's the other guy's situation right now. A lot of times, even in training, right? I mean, you know, I mentioned before that your heart kind of gets pumping, right? Especially if you're doing mount and you're having to talk on the radio. Some people end up talking really fast and you can't even understand what they're saying. And I heard a lot of times if you're ever talking to a pilot, for the most part, they're going to be like kind of your bro, right? As far as like you trying to call something in, right? And then they're just going to be like, hey, kind of relax, you know, hey, just talk to me, right? Don't try to be so formal, which, you know, is good because then you help keep someone calm.
readings say they're all dead. We haven't been able to reach any of the pods to check for ourselves. The second I tried to step outside, I got my arm blown off.
Does it hurt?
No, sir. I can't feel a thing. I mean, I'm aware I've been injured. I can see the wound, but physically there's no pain, so I can keep fighting, sir. There's no problem. Barry! Fuck! God damn it! Clubbies, they just got Nelson!
Okay, then again, I've never been in real combat, so I don't know, right? As far as like how I would react, but definitely acting on emotion like that, it's gonna either get other people killed or yourself killed, and it could just create a whole bunch of issues. There's definitely quite a bit of people that I saw during training that kind of acted like this, or they would try to pretty much do everything, right? Instead of like relying on the actual team or squad. And, you know, we'd get cherry picked as far as casualties. And then, yeah, and then it gets incredibly more difficult to actually be able to do anything, right? Especially when you're losing guys and you got guys that now you have to carry because maybe they were told, like, hey, you're shot in the leg, you know? So this guy just going out shooting like that, definitely not a good idea. But then again, considering the situation, you know, some people are going to act like this. Oh, wait, is he invisible? Well, in any case, the fact that he hit him while running like that, pretty damn incredible. Just because even just shooting while you're barely moving, kind of like this tempo, it's kind of difficult. I mean, typically we're always told, hey, shoot on when your left foot takes touches the ground, or hey, shoot every time your right foot touches the ground. That way you can kind of somewhat get like a little rhythm as far as when you're going to be shooting. But it's very hard to shoot something, especially when you're even walking, let alone sprinting like this guy was. Again, I don't know as far as like the rounds he's using for what it seems to be that 203. 203 does have to travel a certain distance, and I believe make a certain amount of rotations for it to actually go off, which is why if it hits a person and it's still within that distance where it's not able to go off, you know, it's just going to hit them. And it's probably not going to blow up, but I don't know what the range right there was. But yeah, I mean, if you didn't know, that's the thing. Even if you see like in video games, right, where it kind of like bounces off walls, that's the thing. It has to reach a certain distance. Okay, again, same thing with the gun, but shooting on auto like that, man, it's hard, but wasn't a little bit in the fleet, but I really got to shoot more probably in SOI when everybody had the chance to shoot that IR and full auto. The rounds go by pretty damn quick, a couple seconds, right? And this is a 30-round mag, so depending on how big this one is, he's going to be going through mags quite a bit often, which is why our IAR gunners typically had like around 12 mags on them, right? Because a lot of time they're going to have to be laying down quite a bit of suppressor fire, because also that was supposed to replace the 249 saw, which is why also to conserve ammo but also be incredibly more accurate, we shoot on semi.
Be advised, Blue Boy, these guys may have masking.
Oh, they do, sir. No doubt about it. Which means we'll just have to keep blasting till their hamburger beats.
Okay, so I don't. He's obviously contacted one of his guys, but I don't know if he's tried to contact command or something. Maybe try to get some, probably not reinforcements because I don't know how far they are or kind of like what's going on. But try to see if you can get some other assets, like typically air assets, right? Something backup essentially in any type of form that they can, because it's seeming like there's only 2 of them as of right now. But you know, so far they're holding out pretty damn well.
Such shit.
Okay, that was probably the dumbest thing he could have done. He's shooting again on fully auto. Recoil would be insane. You're running out of ammo pretty damn quick. Not only that, why is he going straight into that gunfire? You know, it does not make sense as far as I don't even think anybody. You don't even have to be a military member. I don't think anybody would do that. Not only, obviously, you don't want to go behind the meter because, you know, you saw that whatever missile that shot at them, right? So you don't want to accidentally get hit by one of your friendlies. So this is where flanking comes in, right? Go on the side. Not only that, they seem like they're all pretty damn close, right? So you wouldn't have to be as accurate since they're pretty damn bunched up. It seems and not very spread out. Why didn't you just go on the side and then do this? See, a lot of that again coming with that emotion as far as like having them kind of dictate what your next move is. It could cause quite a bit of issues. I'm pretty sure this guy would have died. I'm almost positive he would have gotten shot. Never run to gunfire like that. I mean, unless you guys have people that are laying down suppressive fire for you, but you know, this guy is by himself kind of at this point, not including his guy who's also still alive.
Damn it! Hey, sir. Glad you made it. How are things outside?
Okay, so now this guy, he had a good chance to really turn this around, but now he's just stuck there too now. It's not, no, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but that was not a good decision whatsoever. It's not a good idea to get yourself trapped, because now more people are going to die.
Managed to catch the right one, but the left one ran away.
What's happening out there? Those bastards. Did we get them?
Okay, he's dead. I mean, unless they have something that's keeping him alive right now, maybe they don't feel the pain. But at the very least, you've run out of blood pretty damn quick. Blood loss, I forgot what the time was, but it's like about a minute, I think it was, which is typically why, I mean, a tourniquet's not going to help here, but we would do a lot of tourniquet drills, and you want to get that on. Not only as tight, which, if you didn't know, I had quite a few docs tell me that they never understood why we always said I have it so tight to the point where, you know, it's almost like, was it 2 fingers, right? Like you can't fit 2 fingers underneath. But if it's so damn tight, that causes more issues, right? So you would want it a little bit loose. I never really found out who was right or who was wrong, right? But I feel like I would trust the doc a little bit more. And then not to mention now, those guys outside looked pretty damn close. So first, considering, now I'm assuming that what was shot out of there was a 2 or 3 round, probably. But they're not shooting right now. Anytime they're not shooting, the guys outside have way more of a chance to close that distance and get in. Now, I don't know if that's going to happen. It seems like there's only about 30 seconds left, but there's a lot of bad choices that are being made. Then again, I don't know how I would react into this situation. It's a whole lot easier to see it from like a third-person perspective and then say that, hey, this is what you would do. But, I mean, you never really know. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about that for a minute. I again got a lot of what I wanted to say out in the actual videos, but genuinely, I liked it. I mean, it shows like that no matter how much training you have, especially on this last one, right? And you're trained to like, hey, remember, go back to your training as far as like everything when you feel like, you know, things are at a loss, right? Or, you know, everything's going too much, that you train these skills day in and day out to be able to like fall back on these type of situations. And from what I've heard in the past, some of my super seniors kind of said that they just had to kind of wing it, right? I mean, a lot of them didn't say that, hey, I just relied on my training, because it did. A lot of them, that was not the case. So I mean, so I guess it was like good to see like, hey, I could definitely see someone acting like that in that type of scenario, right? Acting emotional as far as like your actions. But now, I mean, obviously this guy is now trapped. It seemed like he was trying to help his guy right here, but you know, he didn't know he was actually losing his whole bottom half. So I don't know what's going to happen here. I don't know if this guy's going to get out of it. I would expect so, because he seems like the main character. But definitely in anime, I'm going to give more of a watch. Yeah, but in any case, that's going to go ahead and do it for this video. Again, thanks for coming back. Thanks for watching. Thank you for your patience. And I'll see you all on the next video.